I've sold over $3 million in the last few years of high ticket online coaching. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the 14 things that I wish I knew sooner that would have helped me make so much more money and speed up the learning curve by ages. And so I've got my notebook here, my summit journal. My clients get these at our client retreats. I think they're sick. Might be a little biased, but hey. Regardless, let's get into it. My name's Jeremy. I help online coaches scale with ads and setters. And yeah, I started my business 2.5 years ago. Before that, I was working for another coach, and I was the media buyer, running ads, high ticket closer, signing the clients, and then CSM, coaching them too. And before that, I had an advertising agency as well. And so I've learned a lot over the last few years being in the space. And today, like I said, I'm gonna break down the biggest lessons and insights that I've had looking back, and things that I wish I knew sooner or wish I took more seriously. Because a lot of the time it's not about learning new stuff, it's about being reminded of the things that we already know and then continuing to actually just follow through and show up and do the stuff that we already know we should be doing. So let's get cracking. Number one, inputs over outputs. You have to be urgent with your actions, but patient with your results. And so really what this boils down to is detachment. So for example, when I first started the business, it was a pretty rocky, like kind of first, 8 months. And I'll kind of just walk you through what that looked like. So when I launched, I think I had like 200 something subscribers on YouTube. I was making videos 3 times a week for 6 months prior to launching. And when I finally launched, I posted this VSL that I was like, hey, here's my 100K month game plan. This is my program that I'm going to build. Nothing's built yet. And this is kind of everything I'm gonna be able to help you out with. And within that, I think I did like 50K my first like 5 weeks. And this was in November. I launched like mid-November 2023. Yeah. Something like that. Mid-November 2023. And anyways, did like 50K and then went down to like 20K, I think, like the next month, because like, holy shit, I just sold way too many clients. I don't have any program or course or anything built out. It was all one-on-one, and it was a lot. And so I was like, all right, I have to build an actual program, build a course out, record it, and then have 1.0 version. And then from there, I went and like I did that for about a month, and then I turned my ads back on, cranked it up, and then I think it was like month 5, I hit like 78K. So like just below the 7-figure run rate, which is like 83, 84K a month. So I had 78, which is like pretty damn close, month 5. And so again, huge influx of clients, another oh shit moment, and had to rebuild the program because I realized that there were actually a lot of holes in there. And so I had to patch a lot of the holes, just refine it, make it a little bit better, make better ads training, better VSL training, all that kind of stuff. And then from like, I turned my ads off then, and then I actually dipped down month 6. I dipped down to like 20K in month 6 because I had my ads off and like I was in a full rebuild phase. And so what I want to anyways, we'll get into that in a sec. So month 6, I hit 20K a month. Month 7, I hit my first 100K month. Month 8, I hit my first 200K month. And so in those 8 weeks, I went from 20K a month to 200K a month and 10X. But one of the things that I remember during like that first 100K month, so month 7, was telling myself, all right, since I first started, I was like, I will fucking die before I don't hit 100K a month. I'm like, I will get there, it's inevitable, but I don't know how long it's gonna take. I have no idea. And what I did know is I could only control my inputs. I couldn't control the outputs. I could only control what I put in, what I put out there, right? But I couldn't control what I got back. And I think having that detachment from the outputs is critical, because I remember telling myself, and I actually wrote it down in my journal, I'll have to go find it and reread this again. But I remember telling myself, I'm like, man, like I'm so close to, or like I feel like, I guess I'm so close to hit my first 100K month. However, I think I was like 30 to 40K away. This was back in July 2024. And is that right? No, 2023. All right, so I started in 2022, something like that. I don't know. So you don't need to be very intelligent to make a lot of money, as long as you know what to do. Anyways, regardless, I remember telling myself in journaling, I was like, all right, whether it happens this month, next month, or 3 years from now, it doesn't matter, because I know deep down in my heart that I'm doing every single thing that I can in my own power to set myself up for the success that I am striving for. And so if you focus on your inputs, the outputs will take care of themselves. And there's this concept called leading and lagging indicators. And so you have to focus on the leading indicators. These are your inputs. These are the things you can control. They lead the results. And so this is all like the inputs. This is like the quality, or like how much content you're putting out there, how much you're spending on ads, how many ads you're testing, how many touch points you're doing with your setting, right? Like all of that stuff it's like the reps. And so that's the leading indicators. And then they create lagging indicators that happen after you've already done everything. And then those are kind of more like the booked calls, or like the sales made, cash collected, stuff like that, right? And so it's important to know the difference, because a lot of us kind of measure ourselves on the lagging indicators, but those happen after the fact, like after we do the leading. So focus on what you can control, detach yourself from what you can't control, but have faith and conviction in yourself that you're going to figure it out and you're going to hit that no matter what, whether it takes a week, a month, a year, or 10 years. At the end of the day, looking back on our lives when we're 80 something, 90 something, 100 something, is it gonna matter? No. So that's number one. Number two, personal brand is everything. Now, I don't regret many things, but one of the things I do regret in my life is back in the summer of 2018 or 2019, I lived in a ski town called Whistler in Canada. It's unreal skiing out there. It's absolutely disgusting. It's incredible. And I remember in my there were four of us like in staff housing. There were four of us sharing a 2-bedroom like apartment with like one bathroom. It was tiny, like, and it was filthy. It was gross. But I recorded 5 YouTube videos, and I told myself, I'm gonna start building my personal brand. I launched them, they all got like 10 views or whatever, and then I stopped. And I didn't make content for another probably 3 to 4 years after that, 3 years maybe. And imagine where I'd be at now, because I've only been making content for maybe about 3 years now. Imagine where I'd be at if I had double that under my belt. And what's really interesting too is like your growth and like success doesn't happen linearly. It doesn't happen where it's like one input, one output, and it's like a steady, it's like, it happens exponentially. So it's like, at first there's nothing, and then all at once, then it shoots up, right? And so imagine if I like, I can't help thinking, but like imagine where I would be if I had kept going. I didn't have that 3-year gap between when I first started making content and where I'm at now. And so that, yeah, if you're sitting on the fence, you're not too sure about like, should I put myself, like, do it. Your future self will thank you for it. It's the biggest asset you could ever have. Like, for example, look at like the Hormozis, any company that they promote, it's like they're just gonna absolutely explode because of the depth of their personal brand. Like Conor McGregor with the whiskey, or like The Rock with his tequila and stuff like that. It's like Kylie Jenner and her makeup. Like, your personal brand is everything. And if you want to go for massive 8-9 figure plays down the road, I don't know if you'll be able to do that, or you still will be able to do that, but not anywhere close to what you'd be able to do if you had your personal brand leveraging what you're doing. And with that, it's important that you develop the habit of consistency first. So don't care about what it looks like. Like, I look back at my first videos, I cringe. I'm like, God, these suck. Why did anyone ever watch them? But those were absolutely critical. And I wish I even made more videos back then that were cringy, that sucked, because then I'd just get more reps and get better and develop the muscle and make that muscle stronger of consistency and just repetition and experience. And then from there, once you make 100, 200, 300 videos, then you can make them pretty, make them fancy, you start to refine it. But so many people try to get that backwards. They're like, oh, it has to be perfect. It's like, you don't even know what perfect looks like. You don't even know what shitty looks like. How are you gonna make it perfect? So get out of your own head and just focus on the inputs. Number 3, consistency and predictability in your business eliminate anxiety, stress, and uncertainty. Now, when I was first coming up, like I said, it was like 50K and it was like 20, and then it was like 15, and then it was 80, and then it was 20, and then it was 100, and then 200. Like, it's like huge fluctuations. However, I was able to control those fluctuations because I was running ads. And if I was just relying on organic, it would have been completely out of my control. I would have no control over it, no predictability, no certainty, and no consistency. But when I was in the rebuild phases, I turned my ads off, so the business dropped. But then when I was ready to actually start signing clients again, I could literally just turn my ad back on, and then like a month or 2 later, it's like it would just explode, right? And that's exactly what happened. And so if you don't have leverage in your business that can give you that predictability and that consistency, then like you don't have a business. And so if you break your business down into like a funnel, top, middle, and bottom of funnel. Top of funnel is like eyeballs, it's traffic. And so most people just try to do organic. You can't rely on organic because like you might have one video out of 100 that pops, but then it pops for all the wrong people. They're all unqualified, they're broke, and then it sucks. Now you gotta sift through all the dirt to find the gold, and that's very difficult. So you can run ads to get very specific qualified leads. And then from there, middle of funnel is like nurturing, right? Warming them up. So that's why I love my YouTube channel and Instagram too. I post every single day. And so what that does is like, I make one piece of content and then hundreds or thousands of people see it. And so every single piece of content you put out there, picture your like audience's minds or your prospects' minds as like a statue, like a piece of marble, big block of marble. And you want to turn it into a statue. And when it's a beautiful statue that's polished, that means they're ready to buy. But when it's a big clunky chunk of marble, they're not. They have a lot of sales resistance. So every single thing you put out there, you want to just chip away one piece at a time to make this beautiful statue where they're ready to sign up with you. And so that's how you have to view that. And then of course, like bottom funnel is hire a setter. So you just have that consistency of calls coming through without you having to do anything. And so with those systems in place, you actually have some consistency and some predictability. And guess what? Some stability and security. Like something just fell back there, but it doesn't matter. We keep moving forward. Number 4, stick through the downs. So many people are trying to look for a way out, but you gotta start looking for a way in. The most successful people that I know are the ones that they thrive in the trenches. They thrive when things are going wrong. And one of the videos that's ingrained into my brain forever is Jocko Willink. It's called Good. And it's like, oh, you broke your arm and can't do good. Oh, your business fit good, right? It's like all of these challenges are opportunities for you to get better. And so imagine if I quit, or imagine if I panicked when I went from 80K a month down to 20 the next month. I know so many people that when they see a bit of a dip, they panic, they change things, they fucking do whatever, and then they sabotage themselves. But I was like, no, I'm doing the inputs. I know what I'm doing is right. This was an intentional drop so I could rebuild, and then I'm ready to rock and roll over the next couple months. And so you have to like have that kind of level of stoicism to be able to determine and like discern what to do and when. And so for example, like if I panicked, if I changed everything up and made all these changes, like I would not have hit my first 100 and then 200K a month literally immediately after. It would not have happened. And so you have to be willing to stick through the downs, and then you will rise up again shortly after, as long as you're doing the right things. Number 5, this is a good one. Revenue is for vanity, profit is for sanity. I've heard far too many stories of people scaling to 8 figures, so like, I don't know, $1 million a month, $2 million a month, stuff like that. But it's like they profit like 1 to 300 and their margins are horrible. But now they have 20, 30, 40 team members that are on payroll they're responsible for, and thousands of clients as well. And so like you're not actually making that much more money for the magnitude of headaches and challenges that come. Now, obviously there's right ways to do it and wrong ways to do it. And so it's important that you actually like understand how to do it properly. And some like, of course, when you first get there, it's like you don't know what the hell you're doing. So like, you don't. So you need to just like find a mentor or whatever who's been doing that and has already worked through all the kinks themselves. But one of the things that like really hit me in the gut last year was like when I first started, like my first year in business with Summit Scale, it was like me and a setter, and then I had like a $300 a month editor that was overseas, and so it was insane. And like those big months that I had, like 100-200 a month, it was like I spent no more than like 7 to 10K a month on ads. So I had like 87% profit margins, which is like straight cash in the bank, right? And it was kind of crazy, but I also didn't really know how to handle it. So, but when I first started, I had a goal that when I was going to hit, or when I hit my first 100K month, I was gonna buy myself a Rolex. And so I did. But it was like, boom, there's a bunch of cash out there. And then it was like, kind of just sending it all over the place, right? Because I wasn't capable of knowing what to do with it back then. But anyways, so it was like incredible because it's like very little like headaches, not much responsibility, but a shit ton of profit, and it was insane, right? But then it's like you sign a bunch of clients, and then now you need help. So you hire a CSM, and then you hire a closer, and then like an assistant, and then a videographer, and then you get an office, and then all the expenses start to stack up. But what I kept justifying, like, oh, it's just like another, it's just like another like half a client a month, or like one more client a month, and it's like, how many more fucking clients are you gonna use that to justify adding on all of these expenses? And so some of them I was like, you know what, I don't know if this is the right move, but I'm willing to kind of just like fucking test it and figure it out and like see, like, if I learn the hard way, I learn the hard way. And maybe this wasn't the best move, okay, whatever. And sometimes you just gotta throw some money at things, and that's how you learn, right? But it's really important to protect your margins, because when the margins start to shrink, that's where you start to question everything. You start to wonder and kind of doubt, like, is this even the business that I wanted in the first place? Or have I created a monster that I don't like anymore that's not even making me much money? And it's like, I can make like twice the profit in my sleep as a one-man show. And then you start to like kind of question things. And so it's really important that you like protect your margins at all costs, because like profit eliminates hesitancy, doubt, confusion. When you're making a bunch of money and you're stacking it in the bank consistently, predictably, then like mentally you're good, right? It's when like the margins really shrink, you have like a slower month, but then you have all this overhead and you're like, oh fuck, that's when things start to get a little hairy. And so I want to kind of like protect you from that by speaking through my mistakes and some of the lessons that I've learned. So make sure that you check your margins. One thing I love doing every Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month, I do a monthly financial audit. And so what that means in English is I sit down with myself, I have 3 hours on my calendar in the morning, blocked out. First thing, nothing's there, I can't use my phone, and I like go to a coffee shop or something like that, and I pull up all my bank statements, credit card statements, all that kind of stuff over the last month, and like look at my QuickBooks that my bookkeepers prepare, and I look where the money's going, right? Oh, why did I spend this much on this thing or this much on this? And it's like, is that even necessary? And I'm like scrutinizing things to like see like, where is the bloat? Where's the fat, and how can I trim it to make this thing a little bit leaner? And so that's really important. Cool, so that's number 5. Revenue is for vanity, profit is for sanity. You wanna stay lean and mean. And yeah, wait to hire. Most people try to hire too soon, but then you're just like paying way more money for things that like you probably should be doing for a little bit more to master the skills and stuff like that too. But anyways, that's number 5. Number 6, this is a good one. If things are not happening as fast as you would like them to, understand this. The delay is not the punishment. It's the preparation that you need to become the person worthy of achieving everything that you want. If you got handed on a silver platter everything that you want right now, I can almost guarantee that you would fumble it and crumble under that pressure. And so if things are taking longer than you'd like them to, good. It's meant to be that way. because you're not that person yet that can actually handle all of the things that you claim you want so bad. And so most people, they give up too soon because they can't take the pressure. But if you think about it, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors. Your training, your preparation should be treacherous. It should be difficult. The most elite soldiers in the world go through the most difficult training because it prepares them for what's to come on the battlefield. And so if you view it like that and you flip the frame, then all of a sudden that gives you you take all of the power back. You're like, oh, this sucks. I feel like shit and I want to quit and crash everything into the ground and disappear into a cabin in the woods. And it's like, good. You should feel that way. That means you're growing. That means you're being tested. You're being challenged right now. Don't give in. Keep going. It's not about the things that you get along the way. It's about the process. It's about who you become in the process of getting those things. So for example, like I said a goal when I first started my business. When I hit my first 100K a month, I'm buying myself a Rolex. That's because when I used to work for somebody else, that person made a promise, hey, when we hit, like if we hit 100K this week, we'll all get matching, like I'll buy you all matching Rollies for the team. There are 4 of us. And then we did it. I stayed up like 16-hour days and like I called every single lead and emailed and texted, and like 9:36 p.m. on the last night, I made the last call to a client, upsold $1,000 for extra coaching and got $100.00 on the dot cash, 100,000, sorry. And then we did it, but then he backed out and didn't give us a Rollie. And so after that, shortly after I quit and then started Summit. And then when I started, I was like, all right, when I hit my first 100K a month, I'll buy myself my own damn Rolex. And so I did, right? And so I kind of put a carrot on a stick for myself that like helped me keep going. And I'll touch on that more in a minute here. But it's important that you understand that like, it's not about this. It's about what this means. It's the meaning behind it. It's like every time I wear it, it's a reminder of who I had to become to be able to unlock that reward for myself. Same thing with my Lamborghini. It was on my vision board for years. Ever since I was like 8 years old, playing Need for Speed on my GameCube, I would pick a Lamborghini. Like I've never been a car guy, always just been a Lambo guy. And I just wanted to murder out Matte Black one, just disgusting, loud as hell too. And I set a goal. When I made my first $1 million, I'm buying yours. Because I live in Canada up here, you can see there's still, there's still snow in the mountains. That's weird, it's April. But anyways, I love going to the mountains and going off-roading and skiing and camping and hiking and all that kind of stuff, right? And so can't put my bang bangs in the front of a Huracan, right? So I wanted yours. And so anyways, that was on my vision board for a long time. And it's not about the car at all. Sure, it's amazing, it never gets old. Like every time I start it up, it just like shocks my body. I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome. But every time I see it, it reminds me of all of those late nights, those early mornings, the dark times that I had to go through, the journal entries for years with so much work and absolutely nothing to show for it. But through that journey, I was forging myself, I was forging my mind to become a strong warrior, somebody who's able and capable of one day maybe buying a Lamborghini. And so again, it's not about the things, it's about who you become in the process of getting the things and who you have to become. That's number 6. Number 7, the mirror. This is a good one. Your external circumstances, your reality, is simply just a reflection of your internal reality. And so what this means in English is like where you live, the car you drive, the money that's in your bank account, the relationship that you're in, your body, that's all a reflection of what's in here and in here. And so you will never be able to grow, you will never be able to change anything externally unless you first change yourself internally. And so what this means, it comes down to your identity. Who do you view yourself as? Who do you want to become? Who do you need to become to achieve your goals? All about your habits. What do you do consistently on a daily basis to help you become that person? more and more and more every single day, because you can either, like, no matter what you do, every single day, you're either getting one step closer to living heaven on earth or hell on earth. And the actions and the habits that you do every single day are a vote in either direction. You can either vote today to create heaven on earth for yourself or hell. And you won't see the result immediately, but compounded over time, it's going to be lead to an incredible life of heaven on earth or a horrible life of hell. And so you have the power to determine and dictate which one you do through your daily inputs. And so another thing that I thought of last year is Newton's law of gravitational pull and how that reflects into this concept and this principle. Basically, Newton's law of gravitational pull basically means the larger the mass of something, so the more, like, I don't know, the more atoms or whatever the fuck, I'm no physician, it's just physics, but the larger your mass, the stronger the gravitational pull. So if you think about it like a planet, like Jupiter's the biggest planet, and therefore it has like the most gravity, and just like it attracts everything to it because it's so big. Like Pluto, a tiny little thing, it doesn't have much gravity because it doesn't have much mass itself. And it's the exact same thing with us. If we think about our mass as like our knowledge, shout out Ty Lopez, that even came out sounding like him. God, I've been watching a little bit too much of them recently, I think. But our knowledge, our experience, our skill set, our mindset, if we think about those as building blocks to our mass, another book we read makes us a little bit bigger, right? Every book we read, we're growing our mass a little bit. Every course we take, we're building our mass bigger and bigger and bigger. And guess what happens? The larger your mass, the stronger your pull, which means then you start to attract bigger and better things into your life faster. And so the more you invest in yourself, the more you change your internal reality, the faster and the greater your external reality will change as well. Cool. Number 8, where there's no vision, the people perish. That is my favorite Bible verse of all time. And last year, admittedly, like I kind of got in a weird place where I was like when I first started my business, I was like, all I want is to be able to hit 100K a month, buy a Rolex, buy a Lambo, and buy my dream condo with a stunning view over the lake in the city. And I did that. And I was like, shit, now what? Well, I wasn't even planning to buy a condo. I just kind of was forced to, because all the ones that were for rent here, they were good, not great. And I saw this one, but it was for sale. I was like, shit, I guess I'm buying a condo. But good problem to have. But anyways, with that, I was like, okay, hit 100K a month, got the Rollie, got the Lambo, and then I was like, I don't really want anything else. Or like, what do I want? Like, I do want a big like mountain style home, view of the mountains, like huge acreage, all the toys, all that kind of stuff. But not right now in this season. I want that later on when I have a family. And I kind of hit a bit of a wall where I was like, I kind of did everything I wanted to do. Like, what now? And I kind of lost sight of the vision. That's because at the start, my vision was very selfish in terms of like, I just want to make money so I can buy these things for myself, right? Material things. But then last year, I had a huge kind of like revelation where my motivation shifted from internal, like selfish desires and material things to like external, more like I don't know what the best way to describe it would be, but it's like things that are external for me. It's like impact and like how many people I can help, how many followers I can get on YouTube or subscribers and stuff like that, and like the quality of my videos and like the caliber of the people I'm meeting. And that's all a reflection of the quality of myself and my brain and the value that I put out there. And so it was a very powerful season of transformation. And I know some other buddies who also have gotten to 7 figures, and then they kind of go through the same thing. It's like an internal crisis. Like, shit, I did everything I wanted to do. Like, now what? And so it's so important that you're aware of that, but you know how to handle it when that happens. And so what's really important to do is like the carrot and the stick concept. So for example, it's like I had so much motivation when I was like, okay, when I hit my first 100K month, I'm buying a Rolex. And I was like I will fucking die before I don't, right? And it's like I said like blinders on, said no to absolutely everything in my life that wasn't helping me hit 100K a month to get a Rollie. And then same thing with like the Lambo. And then I was like, all right. But then when I like got that stuff, I was like, I didn't really have anything else. I was like, yeah, condo would be nice. It was like an absolutely disgusting, murdered out Lamborghini Aventador SVJ with Gintani exhaust spitting flames out the back. Yeah, I want that. So that's a carrot on the stick right now. But I want to build a much longer term portfolio for wealth creation and wealth building before I buy another supercar. I kind of scratched that itch with the years. I'm good for a bit now, right? Can I go buy one? Sure. Does it make sense? No. And so I've kind of matured. Last year, who knows? Maybe I would have. Who knows? But nonetheless, it would be very irresponsible, and yeah, I'm good for now, anyways. But like the premise of this is like I want you to understand that like you always kind of need that next thing, and sometimes you might not know what that is, and it can suck. And so if you kind of feel like you're just like spinning your tires, you don't really know what direction you're going, like the best thing you can do right now is just like get yourself out of your routine, go somewhere new, and just like shut out all the noise. And so one of my buddies, what he does is he gets a cabin off-grid, middle of like butt-fuck nowhere for a week at the end of every single year. And it's his like vision retreat. He might bring some sort of vegetable that grows in the ground that you eat and it makes you think a certain way to kind of facilitate some insights there. But it helps him kind of recalibrate his vision for the next year or the next couple of years. And so I'm not saying you have to do that, but go out of your norm. Like pull yourself out of your existing environment if it feels stale. Go somewhere new. And that will just trigger so much, like it'll get your brain juices spinning and it'll help you kind of think bigger, think greater. Go to a mastermind, go somewhere crazy that just like really puts you in a level of abundance and excitement if you're feeling kind of low right now and like thinking out of scarcity, and just like shake it up a little bit and then reset your sights on something and then put that carrot on the stick and then chase that carrot as if you're like a donkey with a stick and a carrot right there, and you're walking. You never like, you have to kind of trick your mind and play games with it to motivate yourself sometimes. Number 9, you have to be selfish in order to be selfless. And so if you're watching this video or if you're a coach, you probably get a lot of fulfillment from serving other people and seeing other people change their lives. I know I do. And it's very rewarding when I'm at like a client retreat and like someone's coming up to me and like, hey man, I just want to like say thank you for everything. And like that means the world to me. And so if you're like me, you want to just like give, but you can't pour from an empty cup. And so it's kind of counterintuitive. You have to first be selfish, fill up your own cup, and then you can pour that cup into others. And I see a lot of people get burnt out because they say yes to everything, but you have to get really damn good at saying no. Saying no to the things that distract you and pull you away from your vision. And it's incredibly important that you do that. Otherwise, you're gonna start to get really burnt out. And so, for example, it's like yesterday I kind of like slept in till like 8:30, which is like really late for me. Normally I get up at like 5:45. I slept in, and then like I kind of just like had a really slow morning, just like dicked around up here, didn't really do anything, and then went to the gym at like 11 or 12, had some lunch, and then like had a couple calls in the afternoon, and then kind of just took it easy last night as well, and like played some Xbox. It's like it's not always go, but I was kind of feeling a little out of whack, and I was like, you know what, I think I kind of need to just like take a bit of a step back here and just kind of like recharge a little bit, and that's totally okay. And I felt like I had to kind of refill my cup a little bit because it was feeling pretty drained. And so it's important that you be selfish so that way you can actually fill up yourself. I finished a book yesterday, I started another one too, And so that's like another example of filling your cup. It's just like saying no to going out for dinner with someone and just stay in and read a book, or like do whatever gives you true fulfillment and helps you fill your cup up a little bit, right? And so yeah, it's important to do that. Like when I was doing 75 hard for the first time, like that's where I really learned that. And so if you want to get really good at being able to say no, start 75 hard. Go check it out. It'll change your life. Number 10. Here we go. It's all about mastering the basics and the fundamentals. Last week I was working out with one of my buddies who is the captain of a D1 football team in Washington. And what he was telling me, like he was running me through his leg day, and it was disgusting. It in the best and worst way possible. Going through it was hell, and then afterwards it was awesome. But what he was telling me is like, he was kind of painting a bit of a picture of like what it's like in the gym, in the locker room, in the workouts with his football team, where it's like every single person there is trying to make it to the NFL. And so it's incredibly competitive, and every single rep must be a championship rep. And so if you think about your day-to-day basis as well, it's like think of yourself as like a business athlete, and every single thing that you do, all of your inputs should be dialed in like an Olympic athlete, the best in the world. How would they treat themselves? How would they carry themselves every single day? Would they be like kind of lazy and sloppy, or would they have championship reps every single rep and try to make it as good as possible and as dialed in as possible? And so really what I've noticed anyway is like with the most successful people I've met a lot of like 8 and 9 figure entrepreneurs, and what it comes down to is like it's not like they're any different, or there's like a shiny thing, like a silver bullet that's gonna help you make that transition and get rich as hell. It's like they're just masters of the fundamentals and the basics, and they just do them for a hell of a long time, and then the compound effect kicks in. Cool. Number 11, tests. That's a good one. So you're going to get tested. When we claim we want something so badly, God's gonna throw a little curveball at us. He's gonna throw a little test. And usually it comes in the form of something that's good, but not great. And he's gonna test you to see if you're ready for what you claim you want so badly. And most people give in and they accept the good, or they tolerate the good, but that takes the room away from the great, which is right on the other side. And so the way I see it is these tests come, and if you visualize it as like, the test is like a monster or like a boss, and the boss is standing in front of a door, and on the other side of the door is a staircase to that next level that you're trying to get to. You will not be able to walk through the door and climb to the next level unless you first kill the boss or kill the monster, and then take the key to unlock the door and climb the stairs to the next level. And so if you say that you want to scale to 100K a month, you know that you have to become somebody worthy of hitting 100K a month. And that will require a lot of change, because if you were already that person, you would already at 100K a month, but you're not. And so you got some work to do, right? You got to switch things up a little bit. And so that's the test. Usually it's like the thing that like we know deep down we should be doing, or should we stop doing? And usually it's a matter of like personal change and like our personal habits and actions and beliefs and identity and stuff like that, right? And usually it's the thing that is the most scary, the most painful, that we have to go. That's the monster we have to kill, and then we can do that. And so sometimes though, we'll get tested in the form of something that's like pretty damn good, but we know deep down we're compromising even the slightest, and it's not great. And so for example, it's like when I was looking at my old condo 3 and a bit years ago, I checked out this other place that was like pretty good, right? It was like brand new, it was really nice, but the view was like not exactly what I was looking for. And I kind of felt it deep down. I was like, eh. So I told the lady, I'm like, you know what? Let me think on it, let me sleep on it. The next day, I got a text, hey Jeremy, sorry, it's taken. Shit. And like at the time, there was not a lot of apartments for rent either. So I looked again that night, and then sure enough, this place just got listed that afternoon. And it was like, it was scary how identical it was to the picture of the condo that I had on my vision board for the last 3 years. And I was like, holy shit. Had a showing the next day. She opened the front door, I looked at her, the view, I said, I'll take it. She said, do you want to look at it? I was like, sure, but done. Send me let me sign the thing right now. And so I said no to good to make room for great. So I passed the test, I killed the monster, I got the key, unlocked the door, climbed the stairs, got to the next level. And so look out for those tests in your life. And every time you fail that test, you just stay stuck and you keep repeating the cycle. Number 12, burn your boats. Positive pressure is actually a good thing. And so 5-6 years ago, when I was in my parents' basement trying to figure it out and make money online, I spent all of the money I didn't have on a credit card to buy a course that I hoped was gonna help me make some money and get out of my parents' basement. It was scary because I had no money coming in, no job, no income, no idea what the hell I was gonna do. But what I did know is that I wasn't going to figure it out until I burned my boats and lit a fire under my ass, and I did, and it paid off. And I have many other stories like that too. So burn your boats. I was on a call yesterday with one of my clients. His name's Trey, and he scaled from 0 to 30K a month, 36K a month in like a few months. And he put his last $500 down as a deposit to join my program. Like, he was broke with a credit card debt. And he decided to draw a line in the sand, burn his boats, because he knew that he'd figure it out. And sure enough, he did. Number 13, got 2 left. Your results and your circumstances are a direct reflection of your standards. People will treat you as well or poorly as you treat yourself. So how do you seriously treat yourself? How do you show up for yourself every single day? What standards do you set for yourself and for your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions? And that's going to dictate your circumstances. So very similar to the mirror principle, but it goes one layer deeper with your standards. And for example, if you tolerate yourself being lazy or sloppy or like not doing the work, it's like other people are going to kind of treat you as that too. And then the results you get in life are also going to treat you like that too. And they're going to be not that great. And so make sure you raise your standards, and that's how you raise your environment, your circumstances. Number 14, last one, nobody's coming to save you. You must take extreme ownership of your circumstances, of your current situation, and realize that nobody's going to pull you out of this except for you. When I was in my parents' basement 5-6 years ago, I was waiting for someone to come save me. And what it took for me to actually realize that was in the span of a month, COVID hit, lockdowns hit. I'm in Canada, so it was ridiculous. And like, couldn't even leave our house. And then my girlfriend dumped me and my dog died all within like a month. And I was like, shit, I'm worthless. I have no money, no job, no income, no idea what the hell I'm doing with my life, no girlfriend, it was rock bottom. And so I had to I realized though that like no one was gonna save me. And so I turned my phone off, put it in a drawer for like 6 months. I started 75 Hard. I started reading a book a week and building that foundation. That's when I invested in that course and spent every last dollar I didn't have on a credit card to do that. And sure enough, I pulled myself out of there. And so if you're not seeing the results that you want right now, like chances are there's probably not enough urgency. And so sometimes you have to instill a little bit of that on yourself, let it fire under your ass and get going. So those are the 14 things that I wish I knew way sooner. It's some of the most powerful lessons and insights that I've learned over the last little bit here in my journey to making a few million online. And I know this one was kind of just raw and rough, but it was just on my heart to share. And I really hope that you take some of these into account and learn from my mistakes and some of my lessons to make your journey a lot smoother than mine. But then again, if it's not smooth, good. You're getting tested, you're getting stronger every single day. So with that said, I'd love to know some of your main takeaways and some of the points that stood out the most to you down below in the comments. I read every single comment, me replying to them, and I appreciate all your guys' support too. So let me know if you like videos like this. I'll make some more of them. But aside from that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.